Hey, what's up guys, Adam here, and today we're going to be discussing the topic, is your smartphone going to replace your camera? So any further ado guys, let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so rolling back 10 years ago, a lot of mobile phones did not actually have a camera, and if it did, it had a VGA camera, and it kind of looked like how this video is looking now, very choppy, very unfocused, very jittery, and just not a very enjoyable experience to watch. And it had a megapixel count of 0.3, which is kind of laughable to today's standards. But now smartphone cameras have evolved so well, they actually have the ability to go ahead and compete with a lot of pocket cameras out there, and even in some cases some bridging cameras on the market as well. So they've actually been able to point out three good phone camera manufacturers. The first one is going to be Sony. Now Sony, pretty much no surprise there, they make a wide variety of different tech products including cameras and camcorders, and they pretty much have the know-how for when it comes to making good optics within a camera phone. So the second company is going to be Nokia, especially with the release of the 1020 in 2013, the camera with the 40 megapixel camera and the beautiful sensor which pretty much blew everyone's mind away. I guess the only critique with that was that yes, it was a great camera and it's actually marketed more as a camera as opposed it was a phone, but they actually made quite a few accessories to actually make it look more like a camera. But the main downfall with this whole thing was the protruding back on the phone, which a lot of people tend to criticize, but it's kind of like give or take. If you really want a good camera on a phone, you have to think about sacrificing for the protruding back of the phone as well. So third company on this is going to be Apple. Yes, Apple. So probably a bit surprised there, but Apple have a really good approach when it comes to making their phone camera. They don't have the biggest sensor in the world in their phone, but they definitely have one of the best formations of glass within the actual camera itself, making those images just seem really crisp. So getting down to the bare bones of this question, it's really going to have two main answers, one from a professional standpoint and one from a consumer standpoint. So starting off with the professional standpoint first, they're going to argue three main things. First and foremost, a smartphone camera does not have a large enough sensor that will be found in such as a DSLR or even a high-end camcorder, so it's of course not going to let enough light in to get the best quality imagery and videography. Number two, they're going to argue, well, smartphone manufacturers aren't going to be using top-of-the-line glass because of course they need to choose their expenses in other places like the CPU of the phone, the RAM of the phone, and the battery, or the rest of the internals of the phone itself. And thirdly, they're going to argue that of course again they're not going to use the best optics of course to save money on other things within the phone. So of course they're going to argue that, well, a smartphone camera is not also going to have the best optics that will be found in a DSLR camera or a camcorder. So moving on to the consumer point now, definitely you argue that, you know, any flagship phone, really even the iPhone 6 or the Samsung Galaxy S6 will be sufficient for taking any sort of photos you want to, like, you know, if you want to take family photos, day-to-day photos, you know, you want to make YouTube videos with the camera, a flagship phone would pretty much do you any sort of justice as a consumer. So I can definitely say that even having a flagship phone, that can actually pretty much replace a pocket camera, even in some cases a bridging camera, not quite a DSLR camera, and definitely not a high-end professional camcorder. So anyway guys, this has been Adam here, and as you can see there's pretty much no clear-cut answer with this type of question. I mean, it's pretty much whether you're on the professional field or whether you're on the general pro or consumer field. It really depends on what you're going to be using the camera for. In this case, if you're a consumer, a camera phone will do fine. If you're a professional, then you pretty much need to have a DSLR or a professional camcorder. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.